If you're thinking about putting solar panels on a home that you own that's in an HOA, you're going to want to listen to this. I'm Eileen Lacerte with Better Homes and Gardens, Island Lifestyles. Today we're going to talk about the HOA and solar panels. What a pain it is. The end result is good because free energy. Who doesn't love that? 2/3 of the states have regulations regarding residential solar panels in a HOA. I'm going to speak to Hawaii because that's where I live and know. Every state's regulations vary, but they're very similar. Here in Hawaii, we have an abundance of sun, so it's like a no-brainer, right? Get your electricity free from the sun. And another reason in particular here in Hawaii is utilities are very expensive. It is not unusual to have a $900 a month bill in one of these condos. So $900 a month in the summer, not unusual. The state of Hawaii is very into renewable energy, and they'd like to take the whole state to only renewable energy in the near future. So the state of Hawaii came up with the Hawaii Revised Statute 196.7 in approximately 2005. The HOAs were instructed to put together a program by, let me check the date here, by the end of 2006 to have guidelines for the homeowners for installation of solar. Now what this meant was the HOA could not prevent homeowners from installing solar panels. Lots of rules and regs that go with it, but basically if you're a single family homeowner, a townhouse homeowner, or a duplex homeowner, you are now allowed to put solar panels on your property. The HOA could have limited restrictions, not total restrictions. In other words, they couldn't restrict you from doing it. I remember being in one of the homeowner meetings when this statute came into play. It was an annual meeting. The homes in the neighborhood were around $2 million, and there was yelling and screaming about, I don't want to look at your panels from my house, and on and on. And one homeowner said, I'll sue you if you put those on. And the association manager said, you can sue if you want, but one of the associations in Kona already tried that, and they spent $60,000 on legal fees to be told, yeah, forget about it. You can't do anything about it. So it's here to stay. The HOA can tell you, I don't want your panel right there. I want you to move it there. They can say that, but if it decreases the efficiency by 25% or more, no, they can't make you do it. And then there's another restriction. If they say, well, I want you to move it over there and I want you to make it gold-plated, whatever it is they come up with, they cannot require you to do things that would cost you an additional 15% more than you're originally paying. So there is some give and take there, but it's limited. Now things that they can do, normally with the solar panels there's a pipe that comes down with the electrical cords in it and will go to your meter, and they can tell you that that has to be painted the same color as your house. The other thing that they can enforce is additional insurance. Most of the, let's say, townhomes or duplex homes, the association will usually own that roof. So you're going to be penetrating, drilling into it to put the solar panels in. And the HOA can require you to have insurance for the panels to insure from any damage to the roof, which again the HOA owns. Also any damage that could happened due to a water leak from that installation and damage during a storm, for example. So that they can require. This, again, I'm going to point out, is for single-family homes, duplexes, and townhouses. What do they have in common? They have a roof above their unit. Where it comes into a different play is for condominiums and apartments. The state statute doesn't help those homeowners at all. I was really surprised when I found this out. And in the HOA where I live, we have single-family homes, we have duplexes, and we have what I call condos, which are fourplexes, multifamily units. So this law only applied to the single families and the townhouses and the duplexes, not the condos. And I didn't think that was fair. And I was on the board of directors at the time of the HOA, and I recommended that our board allow the condo owners to also put on solar panels. There was a lot of objection about it. You're opening a can of worms, those kind of things, because it'd never been done before. So the manager of the HOA suggested, let her go down this road and see how far she gets. Let her explore it. Because in the end, we need a vote of the entire HOA. I believe at the time it was 75% had to approve this because it would amend our original documents. And the manager said, we can't get homeowners to turn in their votes if we were giving away free candy, let alone a technical issue like this. So off I went. I enrolled our HOA legal counsel, which was Bob Triantos, and him and I scoured not just our state but other states to find an association that had allowed condo owners and apartment owners to put their own solar panels on the roofs. We could find plenty of associations where the association owned the panels on the roof and then sold the power to the homeowners. But nowhere in the whole state could we find, at the time, an HOA that allowed individual homeowners, in our case, a fourplex, 2 up and 2 down, 1 roof, so 4 units were sharing 1 total roof. We could not find any HOA that had allowed that. So the attorney went on his way to make the legal documents that it would take, and I started work on the physical structures themselves. So the first question I had to answer was, if 4 individuals in that building wanted to each put on solar panels, was there enough room on the roof? So that was step 1. Fortunately, these were high-end condos and they're large, and in the end, yes, we could fit 4 separate systems on the roof if all 4 owners wanted to install. In a lot of cases, not all 4 owners want to install. Owners that come to this condo once or twice a year, it's not worth it for them to install a system like that. But someone who lives here or has their unit as a vacation rental, it totally pays for itself in a very short time. So that was the first hurdle I got over, which was, yes, we have enough room to do it. The second issue was, who gets the best spot on the roof? Well, first come, first serve, that's how I look at it. But it really didn't matter because we're in such a solar zone that it didn't matter where on that roof you put your panels because we're in Hawaii and the sun's going to hit every inch of that roof. So that really wasn't a big issue. It took I mean me and the attorney, about start to finish, maybe 18 months to 2 years to get this accomplished to the point of putting it out to the HOA. So that was my hurdle, the 75% vote I had to get. And I got on the phone and I made some phone calls and I said, do you think it's fair that the other homeowners can get solar panels and they can't just because they're condos. And fortunately, in 3 days, yes, I say 3 days, I had all 75% votes in. So it is now history. And to my knowledge, we are still the only association that allows the individual homeowner to put the solar panels on the HOA's roof. I've had other associations call me since we accomplished that and ask me how we did it. And I said, I don't have a couple hours to tell you, but here's the attorney that helped us through it. So a lot of them that called me though, I told them, I don't think it's going to work on your particular complex unless you can get, for example, 4 of the owners or 3 of the owners to go together on one system, because in their case, your units are too small. You couldn't fit 4 separate systems on that one roof of your units because there's not enough square footage. Over time, this will change because solar panels are getting smaller and smaller. But right now, the ones who did call me and ask about it, I knew off the top of my head they wouldn't have enough room. So they needed to talk about maybe some joint units where owners shared the power. A side note, all new construction in Hawaii is required to either have solar hot water or on-demand tankless propane hot water. You might ask yourself, is it worth all this? And the answer is, duh, yes. Free energy is free energy. And as I stated earlier, if your utility bill is $900 a month, it makes sense. Does it add value to your property? Yes, it does. That is for another session. If you got any value from this, please click on the link below and like the session. And if you would like more information regarding Hawaii real estate, click on the subscribe button and you can become part of my ohana. And in Hawaii, that means my family. Aloha.